Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Yes, good evening and welcome to this webinar. We'll just give a few more minutes for people to join in and then we'll start. Pardon my coarse voice. I had a very long day, so I've been talking almost all day. So please manage my voice for today. Okay, I think our guest has joined. So we'll start at 7:05. Okay, so it's 7:05. I think we can start and then others can join us along the line because it's going to be a brief meeting actually. This is the first of the series, so it's just going to be for about an hour. Once again, I apologize on behalf of my voice. It's kind of coarse this evening because I've been talking all day, so please pardon the harshness of the voice. And welcome once again to today's webinar tagged When There's No Montessori, the 21st century teaching strategies for suburbs. So I believe that every one of us has expectation for joining this meeting today. But before we go all out to start, please try to locate the chat box and introduce yourself briefly. Just tell us your name. Tell us if this is your first time joining our meetings, or tell us if you've joined before. So you could just say whatever your name is, first timer or a returning guest. So something like that. Let's see where you're joining from as well. So you could introduce yourself, your location, and tell us if it's your first time or not. So let's see the chat box buzzing right away. Okay, I see Madam Ngozi OJ. Tell us where you're joining from and tell us if it's your first time or if you've joined us before. Okay, so while I wait for others to introduce themselves in the chat box, I'll just go ahead to introduce myself. I am Toluwanimi Fatukasi. Most of my friends, my clients call me Mrs. Nimi for short, so you can do Mrs. Nimi for short. I'm the founder and lead consultant of TET Consult EduNG. I'm an early years professional, an English literacy specialist, and I organize programs to empower educators, to enlighten parents, and I also support children below the ages of 10. So this is a summary of what I do. The theme of this meeting is When There's No Montessori. But before I go into why we had to choose this meeting, yes, I see some more people have introduced themselves. Thank you. Thank you, Kiddies Paradise up from Lagos. Not your first time. Thank you for coming back. Odeyemi Oluwatosin Sam David from Lagos. Thank you. It's your first time. You're welcome. And we hope that you get value from this meeting. Okay, so let's talk about why we came about this theme and why did we decide to organize this webinar at this time. So there are two main reasons, but first you see a sad face on my screen, right? Because that's what the reality of teaching in Nigeria or in Africa generally is. There's a picture on your screen right now showing 3 desks. Can you guess how many children are going to learn in this class? Let me see your guesses in the chat box. How many children do you think are going to learn in this class? Yes, I'm waiting to see. 6, okay, somebody said 6. Let's see other guesses. I'm trying to paint a scenario of the reality of some schools in Nigeria. So I need some more guesses. Let's get active. I'm going to be asking questions. It's going to be interactive. So please, let's get comfortable with responding in the chat box. All right, I think I'm going to start calling out names now. All right, let me have Joy, Pure Joy. If you're there, please tell me how many people you think will learn in this class. How many learners do you think this class is going to host? Joy?
I'm going to the other one. I'm looking at five. Five.
5, okay, she said 5, thank you. Bernard, I hope I pronounced that right. Could you tell me how many people you think is going to be learning in this class? Is Bernard on this call, please? So I'm just going to be calling random names on my screen since people are not responding to the chat, okay? So when I call, please let's unmute and then respond. Okay, so I see that Bernard is not on the call. Has it dropped off? Still on the call, but I can't see. Can I have Modupe Apan? Please guess. How many people do you think are going to be in this class, learning the class on your screen? Apan Modupe, please. Okay, so more guesses in the chat box. If you're not comfortable unmuting your mic, that's fine. But let's have some more guesses. So I have 6, I have 5. Do you guys want to hear the real truth of the matter? In this class you see
40.
on... Again?
40.
40. Wow, that's a very big guess. Okay, well, it's not up to 40. But in this class, there were 16 children that were learning with those 3 desks. So you can imagine how they're going to sit comfortably in quotes to learn. And that's how some schools actually are. And that's one of the reasons why this webinar is important. In this second class, the class wasn't full on this day, but you see that there are more benches now. In this class, there are about 25 children that we're going to be learning in that class. So you can imagine how uncomfortable these children are, right? You cannot say this is a Montessori school if we are to really tag Montessori school. And that's why the theme came about. When there's no Montessori, what do? This is another class. That's me in that picture. So we are not just talking head knowledge, we are talking practical so that you understand that we have also been in these situations and we are also talking from experience. So that's a class. This class actually houses about 38 children in total. There are about 38 children in that room that are learning. And this is another class. You see how they are sitting so jam-packed together. That's how some schools are. And that leads us to why we had to organize this webinar. Because we need to empower teachers that in the real sense of it, these are the working conditions that people face, whether we like it or not. And we will not, because we are teaching in this kind of schools, not give our best or not make impact. Another thing is the state of the economy. If you live in Nigeria, or let me use Nigeria as an example because I feel that more of us will be able to relate, you will discover that you need financial wisdom in teaching because you can't create resources that are beyond your budget. Schools are battling with a lot of bills. They are not ready to do extra than what they are doing. But we as teachers are expected to give extra. And so that's why we had to organize this, so that we have a different perspective to what to do when we are in these kind of situations. Okay, if you're still following, please give me a thumbs up. Let me know you're still there and that I'm not talking to myself. I want to see some reaction to know that I'm still speaking with people, please. Okay, thank you. All right, so moving on, let's do an icebreaker very quickly, and this is going to be really quick in the chat box. Who is ready? All right, so would you rather have a classroom full of books or a classroom full of toys? Type your answer very fast in the chat box. A classroom full of books or a classroom full of toys? Which will you choose? If they give you the option, which one are you going to take? Books or toys? Books. Yeah, I see somebody say books. Yes. Let me see some other people's reaction. Books, another books. Wow. Some more. Books all over the place. Who's going to go for toys? Is anybody going to go for toys? If they give you a full classroom and it's loaded with a library of books, or a classroom with books. Oh, somebody is changing her mind. She's thinking toys. Interesting. Sorry, Joy, I can't hear you.
I go for toys. Because
Toys.
some toys are also Right.
Okay, some toys are educational. So people are changing their mind. They're going for toys. Some are going for books. Anyway, there's no right or wrong answer here, right? You can go for books, you have your reason. You can also go for toys, you also have your reason. So that's fine. Another icebreaker question, very quickly. If you had to choose, would you pick a whiteboard or internet? Or without internet? So what would you do if you are asked to teach in a classroom and you're asked to pick? Is either you have no internet or you have whiteboard? Which are you going to pick? No whiteboard, no internet. Which will be your choice? Would you teach without whiteboard or without internet? Yes, let's hear you. There are no right or wrong answers, so let's free please. It's just an icebreaker to get our thoughts. Whiteboard, okay, so somebody says she would rather go without a whiteboard. So give me internet, don't give me whiteboard. Okay, somebody said I don't want whiteboard, I want internet. Okay, whiteboard because I will end up not using any. Okay, so interesting. All right, last one, last icebreaker. Would you rather teach students that ask too many questions or students that never ask questions? Do you understand? Yes. Do you have any question? No. So which do you prefer? Or every time they're stopping you and asking? Okay, asking too many questions. Good. Somebody says she would prefer a student always pausing her to ask questions. All right. I think I also like students who will ask a lot of questions. Let's see those who want students who will just please be mute. Let me finish my explanation so that we save some time. Ask too many intelligent questions. You're even qualifying the question. Interesting. All right. Oh, question children. Great. Well done, everybody. Thank you. All right. Now let's move on. So I'll be introducing our guest right now. She is Miss Ogechukwu Ofobike. She's a passionate early childhood and creative math educator in an underserved area of southwest Nigeria, and she's currently a Teach for Nigeria fellow in this location. She's the founder of Crafts Play Learning. Crafts Play Learning is an educational brand that focuses on transforming recyclable materials into interactive numeracy and literacy learning resources for young children in suburbs and rural areas. She has over 5 years active teaching experience working with young children and making impact in various communities. She frequently anchors PTA meetings to educate parents on the value of play-based learning at home. She has trained over 80 teachers on the use of games and hands-on activities in teaching. Before I introduce my guest in person, before she comes up to show her face, I would just like to run you through some of our work. So these are some of the things she has done in the past. Those are made from recyclable objects and they're used in teaching various, I think most of these, the ones that are really visible, they're used in teaching math. I'm sure some of you have an idea of the topics that this can teach, and she has some pictures of our training sessions with the children and with teachers. Please, with a clap emoji, can you make welcome Miss Ogechukwu? Our students call her Miss Oge. Please put your hands together. Put your hands together for Miss Oge. Thank you very much. Welcome, Miss Ogechukwu. I hope she's still on this call. Yes, I think
I am here.
Yes, it's nice to have you, Miss Oge. Thank you so much for joining again today. And we are grateful that you could spend the time to attend. Thank you, and welcome. Thank you, everybody, for welcoming my guests. So we'll just go right in. Like I said, we promised to make it brief so that we could have the rest of our Saturday. So, Miss Oge, please tell us about yourself, about Crafts Play, about how Crafts Play came about. So just run us through very briefly how Crafts Play came into existence.
Alright, thank you everyone. Thank you Mrs. Ife Dayo. I can see you. Thank you for being here. Thank you, ma. I'm glad that you're here, Mrs. Ife Dayo. You're welcome. Thank you everyone. Thank you everyone for being here. Okay. About Craft Play. Alright, I will start with how craftly came into an existence. It's 2 years ago, 2023 years. I was a teacher in Lagos State. I was teaching in a nice school actually. So they have everything that they need, all the learning material, books, all the learning equipment that they need. A standard school, how it used to be. The children are enjoying. Like I saw someone that said, for when we are doing icebreaker, do you rather prefer people that is asking questions or shouldn't that we just say yes? Someone laid emphasis on intelligent question. Oh God, that was so funny. So these are the children that I was working with. So, but while going home, you're meeting some kids that actually see that they are coming from a very low income school. They are jumping boats like every other person. Some are helping their mother in the shop. She gets. So I used to ask myself, if I'm actually working in a place that they have everything, these children now, how will they cope? Who is teaching them? Do they have access to all these things? So I started looking for a way of getting through them and all that. But one day one teacher she showed me a link. We call it Teach for Nigeria. So I was like, she sent the link to me and told me that maybe I should try, since I always have passion to help children in an underserved community. This might be a way. So I said okay. But she was well, it's not permanent. It's something that you will do 2 years you are out of it. I said no problem. Let me even go and see them. So long story cut short, after the application and everything, I was actually posted to Ogun State. I also said to Ogun State, when I got here, there's no luxury. That luxury that we are seeing in Lagos, the whiteboard, projector, the toys are there. If you need it, you go to the HR, they will give you all this stuff. There is no again. That now takes me back to the icebreaker again. When my host was asking, how many students do you think are sitting on this chair? Somebody said 6. Nigerian, it was 16 children that were sitting on those 3 chairs that you were looking at there. So these are the things I met. Students that cannot even understand English. No decks, blackboard. So these are the things I met here. Learning was actually difficult. So I thought of so many things to do, how to get them to learn and all. Number one thing is that, should I say that's a dream come true, because I have been trying, hoping that I will meet this type of people one day to actually show them what real teaching is all about, learning and what that is all about. So what I did first is that I removed those decks. I told them that since we only have 3 decks, these decks will not contain me, every other person. So what we are going to do is that we are going to remove this desk using various use of floor. They were like, Egba Mio. I told the person, and see, I don't know what you're saying. What is Egba Mio? I said, she said, please help me. I said, okay, I will help you. Don't worry, or remove this desk. So we remove the desk. I asked them, why I bring broom. They don't know what broom. I have to get the broom. It's time for sweeping. I have to start sweeping so that they will know, okay, this is what I'm saying. Sweeping is better than you sweep. They were doing that with me. So we started our learning on the ground like that. I used to go home, start thinking of so many things to do to engage them and all that. So I crafted games. I started putting in some games in their mathematics and all that so that they can actually learn to understand. When you're trying to solve language barrier, you have to bring in some activities. You teach, you demonstrate, you say this one, you show them, you do this, you should. So that was how this craft play came into existence.
Okay, thank you, Miss Oge, for that brief summary. So from what I could pick, your major challenge was language. You didn't understand the language. They were interested in speaking their local language. And 2, you saw blackboard with chalk. And it was looking like, do people still use blackboard in this generation? Yes, that's the reality of some schools. Some people still use blackboard and they still need to learn, right? They don't have resources. Then another thing is the benches were not enough. So instead of making it a big deal, what you did was you turned the situation around and then everybody had to sit on the floor so that everybody's on the same level, not some people sitting, some uncomfortable. Very good, and thank you. You also said you began creating craft, and that was how craft play came about. So can you tell us some of the achievements of craft play? Like, what are some of the things that craft play has been able to do in the past 2 years, according to what you said you've achieved here?
Okay. Those games actually, they help to build confidence in children.
Okay, so some examples of the games actually. Let's have an idea. And then what are the materials that you put together to form those games mainly?
Okay, I used resources I can get in the environments like cardboard, carton. Then I use bottle cover. I used to tell them, do you know what bottle cover is? From the initial stage, they do not know because I have to speak their language. So I have to go outside, pick the bottle cover, maybe Fanta, Coca, this bottle cover. I came back to the class and showed them. Do you know this? So I now asked them, if you're coming to school tomorrow, gather as much as possible that you can get for me. They said, okay. So I use the bottle cover. I use carton. I also asked them to bring carton for me. I use cardboard. I get that one from their market. I use my money so that I can make it beautiful. I can beautify it. It can be interactive and all that.
Okay, so what I could gather is you didn't make it like a limitation that okay, I can't get enough bottle covers. You involved your children to make their own learning materials, and that's like the big one of it. So one message I'm trying to send across to everybody is I want us to see the part that she saw that there were no materials. She was coming from a big school where you have access to all the materials, and now you don't have materials. And so she's trying to point our attention to what she was able to do. Yes, so I'm going to go back a bit on the slides to show us some of the materials she created from these bottle covers and cartons. So these are things that she picked from my environment. I'm sure we can see them on the screen. Yeah, so those are some of the materials that she used to create this materials. I can see the division board. There's one that has the Roman figures. Miss Oge, please tell us some things that you used these materials to teach. I see one that looks like snakes and ladders there.
Okay, this one, the division board, so to teach the topic division to the learners in mathematics. Okay. Then we have addition of numbers with carrying. So in using that, it's showing the children the real fact that the numbers, you don't imagine them, and the numbers are not abstract. The numbers are there, and you have to carry them truly. So that's the essence of the board. Then we have Roman numeral counter keys. The real life counter keys, like in teaching younger children, like if 2 trees plus 2 trees, how many trees like that. There are real life, there are tree design, there is socks design, there is star design, and all that to attract their attention to mathematics. Okay. Then there is still Roman numeral there. That one kind of coding. I have each worksheet for it. There are different questions, there are different patterns that you will go through it to know how to play these Roman numeral games. I also use it in my class. Then this one that is very big is for higher class. That's primary 6. It's addition of numbers for million, thousand, hundred, like that, going down. Okay. There are so many of them.
Okay.
There's magic board here.
Yeah.
There's no magic board there. With this magic board, you can teach multiples of 4, you can teach multiples of 3, you can teach addition with it, you can teach ascending and descending order. There are 7 of them, if I can remember, that you can teach with that.
With just one material, yes. One material that you made from something that is recyclable, that could have just been used as trash. Yes. Please, everyone, you can type in your questions. If you have any question for her, please, you can type it in and then she will attend to them. Thank you, Miss Oge. So these are some of the materials that we could actually use with recyclable materials. But sometimes some teachers feel that this is the work of a fine art teacher. I'm not the one that should be crafting and cutting and all of that. So what advice will you tell such teachers that are working in schools, maybe schools that do not have access to Montessori materials, right? But they also still need to teach. They want to make an impact, but they believe that I'm not creative. It's a fine art teacher that should be doing all of this. What would you say to such kind of person?
First of all, you don't need a tools to teach well, no matter where you find yourself. To be honest, children in this underserved community, they are very, very intelligent. They just need that opportunity. So you don't need a fancy tool. And try to be creative, resourceful, and be consistent in whatever that you are doing. Then another one is collaboration. If you can be able to collaborate with the community, the parents, especially those children, if they notice that you love them, tell them to get anything for you. They will bring it. If they don't get, maybe the person went home and she was not feeling fine, but as long as she's okay, that person will try all her best to bring that thing so she will ask them to bring. So collaboration with the community, the parents. Earlier I said I anchor PTA meetings. Some of the PTA meetings, if I know that maybe I notice that the PTA meeting is holding in that school close to us, go there so that and talk to them about craft play. This is what it is. This is what it's all about. So collaborate with them. Collaboration, be creative. You don't need fancy material to teach. Improvise. That's all I can say.
Thank you so much. And I like the fact that you were emphasizing creativity, because to be honest with you, most of all these materials, they are hands-on, and if you're not creative, even if they give you the Montessori materials, the truth is if you're not creative, you will still see a reason why it is not working. So I'll just also add to that we should not make excuses. Whatever school you're working in, whatever community you're exposed to, is not an excuse for you to say you don't have materials, is why you're not teaching well. Collaborate with people, ask questions. People like Miss Oge are everly available to train you if you need help with all of these things. Yes, she's skilled in math, but she also does some materials for English. We're not able to put up some of the English materials. She does that as well. You know, there are a lot of people that are really using recyclable materials to achieve resources. So you don't have to wait for the school to give you money for cardboard. I have some flashcards that I made out of this cereal pack. A lot of us use cereal in our houses, or maybe friends have babies that take cereal, Nutribon, cornflakes, you know, all of those things. Don't trash the carton. Cut them into small bits. Write whatever letter, whatever thing you want to do, write it on it. Turn your carton, those cereal cereal cartons or cereal packs, turn them into flashcards. Cardboards are expensive, so we will make excuse for that, right? But we have access to all of this material, so creativity is the key. So I'll just go over what Ms. Oge said. Yes, she had major challenges, and the challenge was should I say the shock, moving from a tush school to an underserved school, and it was looking like, really, where do I start from? But rather than us seeing challenges in what she experienced, she turned the challenge around. If I'm to ask her, I'm sure she would say it wasn't easy, but whenever she sees the smiles on the faces when they get the topic, I'm sure she would say it was really worth it. So Miss Oge, let's hear from you. Was it really easy, you know, just getting there and then you just start your crafts play like that?
It was not. It was not. Especially the language barrier is the most challenges I've ever faced in my life.
I can imagine.
And resistance age.
Yeah, I can imagine. So it wasn't easy, but she did not give up. And I'm sure there were days when she felt like, see, I'm not just doing it again. Let me just go back to where I'm coming from. But because she felt she has to make an impact. So if we really want to make impact, there are two things that she said that I want us to really take note of. The first thing is creativity. Creativity. everybody has this idea of creativity. We all have ability to be creative. All we need is the push to bring it out. So if you need to keep looking at people who do these things to get the idea, please do. If you need to speak with people who can train you, please do. And of course, we are not just going to leave you just like this, just give you an idea of what to do. We are ready to hold your hands. We are ready to work with you to create materials on different topics to accomplish resources that you can use to teach in class. I'm checking the chat box to see if we have any questions. Please drop your questions if you do have questions for Miss Oge. If you have questions for Miss Oge, please feel free to drop your questions. She's here to answer them. She's here to answer your questions. Still checking the chat box to see if I can get any question. But while we wait for questions, I want us to know that we are not leaving you on your own. We are also going to organize another webinar. It's also going to be virtual, so you don't have to travel for anything, in August, and that one is going to be for 3 days. It's going to be for 3 days because we need it to be intensive and practical. We need everybody to, get what we're talking about. Create materials by yourself. You will be happy with the learning that your children are achieving. Excuse me. So it's going to be a 3 days virtual workshop, very intensive. Please copy that number and save it for payment details. Excuse me. Sorry, my voice is going again. I had to clear it. Okay, so it's going to be a 3 days virtual workshop. If you pay between now and ending of July, that's July 30th, you'll be paying 5,000 naira. And to be honest, this price, to some people it looks big, but really it is small compared to what we'll be dishing out, because like I said, we're going to go really practical. It's going to be a workshop. It's not this talking we're doing. We are going to actually be doing it together, demonstrating. We do, you create the materials, we demonstrate the class, you also demonstrate back to us, and then by the time you're resuming in September, you are a whole different teacher. So if you're saving up maybe 500 every week or 1,000 every month, I'm sure by July ending you will have up to that seed. So it's really a token compared to what we're giving in 3 full days. However, if you decide to wait till summer, till August, you'll be paying something slightly higher. That's at 7,500 naira. But if you want to wait till last minute, which I do not advise, because we need to plan ahead, we need to prepare for people who are coming, because like I said, we want it to be really intensive. We want to really speak with individuals and then get everybody to be active. So if you're going to be waiting till August ending, you'll be paying 10,000 naira for the session. So please, you could type in, you could save that WhatsApp number and then maybe just say an hi or ask for the payment details so that we can send you the payment details. We'll send you the link that you would be the class, because it's going to be an intensive class like I said, and then you can get other details from there. Fully virtual, you don't have to travel, you don't have to think of the hotel you will book for 3 days, because I know that can be another challenge. It's virtual, it's just online, but of course we're going to have it interactive. And after the workshop, we'll give you 1 month free access to mentorship. So after 1 month, after we've trained you, 1 month after, you can still reach us to tell us, oh, I didn't get this part right, how can I do this better? For 1 month we can still have that conversation virtually. So please, yes, we have limited slots actually, because we need to plan ahead of the event. I'm still waiting if you have any question for Miss Oge on our presentation on how you can achieve effective learning even without access to Montessori materials in your school. Please send in the chat box. I'm checking. Please send in the chat box if you have any questions. So I'll just take it back so that if you want to copy the number, it's fine. Meanwhile, if you don't have questions, please tell us your highlights of this meeting. What did you learn? What new thing did you learn? What did you learn before that sounded new again today? What do you intend to do after now? Please, let's hear you in the chat box. You could also raise your hands or mute your mic to speak if you prefer. So let's hear feedback from people. It's a brief meeting, but I believe that one or two things have dropped in us. We have picked one or two things from this session. So let's hear from you. What did you learn? What do you want to do after now in your class as you resume on Monday? Please don't go mute on me. Let me know I'm talking to people. Let me see your hands up. Let me see your comments. Let me see your reactions. Let's know you're still there. Okay, thank you, Miss Ife, for that reaction. All right, I don't see any question. So you are like the lots of students that do not ask any questions. Do you understand? Yes. Is that what you're telling me? Are you telling me that everything we said is achievable, is something that you've been doing or that you intend to start to do? You know, crafting resources. Thank you. Keep this paradise up. So are you saying that there are things that you've been doing before, there are things that you intend to start doing, you know, start looking around for materials that are within your environment, within your reach and can be converted? Yes, thank you. You don't have to purchase resources. That is the real crux of this meeting. We don't have to purchase resources. We have materials all around us. Thank you. Thank you for that. Materials are all around us. We don't have to purchase. And do you know the truth of the matter is Montessori is actually expensive, extremely expensive. In Nigeria, there are very few schools that operate full Montessori because the materials are expensive. The materials are expensive. Those who operate full Montessori, they are probably the highbrow schools. Even the ones that will say Montessori school, a lot of them just pick a few Montessori materials. They don't go the full curriculum because it's expensive to run. So let's maximize resources around us. Oh, the session was amazing. Thank you, Miss Dayo. You love crafting and you encourage teachers to do so. Yes, I've seen some of your works and I must say, yes, you do love crafting. Every garbage is a resource. Every garbage. I have a full room of garbage in quotes and I turn them into resources all the time. All my cereal packs, I have a toddler who still takes cereals. All my cereal packs, I use them for resources. I cut them into different things, use them to form 2-piece puzzles or 3-piece puzzles. I use them to form flashcards. So there are things around that we can use. Thank you, Toba. It comes with a mindset that wants to do. Yeah, you must have a mindset to want to do this so you can give your time and attention to it even when you don't feel like. You have to have a mindset. You have to change your orientation from the fact that I'm not relying on teachers on the school to supply me materials. We have relied all the years. What have they done to us? Nothing. It's time for us to rise up, improvise, be creative, collaborate with other teachers, get ideas from them. I want to teach this topic. I don't know how to teach it. I don't know which material to use. They will suggest. And by the time 1, 2, 3 teachers suggest, you pick from it, add them together, form your own resource, and you would really be impressed with the output. You cannot compare children learning by just talking to children learning by doing. You want to teach children division and you're on the board all through the lesson. You can't compare the output to when you're using a division board where they are picking stones and actually really using it to divide. So yes, please put your mind to it, give attention to it, and you would really be impressed by the output. Once again, thank you everybody. Thank you for those who are contributing. Thank you for everybody who joined. A lot of people are on this call today. Thank you. Please save this number. If you need the payment details, just send a WhatsApp message and you would also get the WhatsApp message. Yes, nature is also a good source to instill learning. We don't have to stay in the classroom all the time. We can take these children out to learn. Thank you, Miss Ife, for adding that. Yes, thank you, Miss Ngozi, for that compliment. Thank you. Still waiting for other questions. If there's anybody that has a question for Miss Oge, please ensure to ask your question. Meanwhile, like I said, we are not leaving you to start thinking of, oh, I want to be creative by next session. We have a whole ton of resources that we're going to be helping you to achieve in this 3 days workshop. So we're going to be developing resources, telling you the topics to use them with, and then how to use them. So please do yourself a favor by registering, signing up to attend this workshop. Right. In the absence of any question, I want to appreciate my guest again for agreeing to collaborate with us on this, to enlighten teachers that you're in a local community is not a stop sign for you to say, I'm not making impact. Make use of resources. Limitations are just a way to tell you that you need to be creative. Thank you, Ms. Ogechukwu. Thank you so much for pouring your heart out. Thank you for showing us some ways that we could be creative using bottle covers, cartons, cardboards and all of that. And like I said, you don't have to always use cardboard. You could use materials you find around. Somebody will say cardboard is even expensive. How about calendars, the back of calendars? They are plain and they are also in large size. You could use that. So that's where creativity comes from, right? Speak with people that you feel, oh, this person is creative. Learn from them. Some come free. Some come at a token. Some come for a price. Do not hesitate to reach out. Thank you, Miss Oge. Thank you, everybody who joined this call today. Thank you, Miss Ngozi. Thank you, Miss Chidema. Kiddies Paradise Up. Fatu Kasi Victor, Messi Fedayo, Oluwatosin, Oluwayemisi, Temitayo, Toba, Uche, Bernard. Thank you, everybody, for coming. So, in the absence of no question, I think it's a good time to call it a day. And I wish you an amazing week ahead. Please go out, keep being creative, keep collaborating, and do not think that Montessori is a limitation to making impact wherever you are. Feel free to reach out to register, and then you get more resources on how you can get started. Have a lovely evening. Bye, everyone.